Hey, I'm Charles McPherson, and if you're following the channel, you notice I have a different cap on tonight. This is my V cap and my crown. Got my crown here. V stands for Victory in Jesus. If you like it, leave me a comment. And if you want one, let me know and I'll tell you where you can get one. So we're going to be talking about spiritual warfare again tonight. I told you that I would be back on the subject. But this spiritual warfare, we're coming from a little bit different perspective. We're coming about spiritual warfare on a very intimate and personal level. Because, see, without that understanding of how we take our lives and become spiritual warriors, then we're not going to be very effective and profitable beyond who we are as believers. We're not going to be good soldiers. And the Bible does call us into a military expedition. And I'll share that with you in a little bit. But as we go on, I want you to consider this. So if you plant weed seed instead of some sort of edible food seed and you don't realize it, what will grow? If the farmer plants and waits for months for the fruit and someone mixed the seeds, what will grow? Now listen to this. In 2 Corinthians 10:3, for though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare, that word warfare there means military expedition. Our weapons are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. According to this scripture, we are told we have all the tools needed. Yet we are also told it is for the lack of knowledge that God's people are destroyed. See, we have to understand that our battle begins in our mind. The story that Jesus tells about the good seed and the bad seed is a metaphor that applies to our lives as well as to the kingdom of heaven. Bad seed is always about destruction, whether we see it or not, and it begins in the mind. Do you know where weeds are growing in your life? Have you stopped just to wonder if the philosophy, empty lies, traditions of men, and the elemental spirits of this world have taken you captive? I bet you haven't stopped and thought about that so much. Because we think we know the truth because we've heard the gospel. But we've been warned not to be led captive or taken as a booty by the philosophy of this world. You see, though truth and lies both flow from the spirit realm, they manifest in the natural. The lie the serpent told Adam had an effect on the natural world throughout all the ages. Strongholds begin in the mind, and we cast down imaginations or carnal thinking and reasonings. We cannot destroy the works of darkness if we do not, on a personal level, perceive the lies in our own lives. One of the biggest problems with our spiritual warfare is how we often wrap it in our religious boxes and do not understand it is a moment-by-moment, 24/7 lifestyle wrestling against principalities and powers in spiritual places. Now, as I share this, remember Scripture instructs, give no place to the devil. When we give place, we come into contract with the devil. Now consider this. According to an a University of Alabama at Birmingham study, 40% of young adults exhibit both insulin resistance and cardiovascular risk factors. Why? Again, a Utah scientist research shows that 88% of adults are metabolically unhealthy, indicating metabolic dysfunction, even without being diagnosed with prediabetes or diabetes. A CDC figure shows that 1/3 of individuals have elevated blood sugars, but not yet meeting the criteria for diabetes. You see, insulin resistance is a precursor to prediabetes and diabetes, and you can have it and have normal blood sugar. But who's telling you? 84.6 million adults have prediabetes. This is about 1 in 3 adults. And 34.2 million Americans have diabetes. As insulin resistance precedes prediabetes, which means about 85 to 90% of American adults are insulin resistant. Insulin resistance and gut issues both are often caused by the same lifestyle choices and are the cause of most of our chronic sicknesses today. But who's telling it? While someone may have a genetic predisposition, genetics is not the problem. We have been lied to by the serpent, and we have trusted the philosophy of this world to feed us, and they are pumping slow-acting poison into us through almost all of our food. We can rebuke, we can bind, we can cast down spirits of sickness and infirmity, but until we change how we live, we will never defeat this enemy. This world system is enmity with God. Yet as followers of Christ, we have not perceived it. Now this is just one place where the snake has deceived us. But our Father is putting out a call to those who will hear. And if you listen this far, you've heard an alarm. And yes, God heals. But if we stay in a sewer so long we can no longer smell it, that does not mean we are not still in the sewer. Ask God for wisdom. He will give liberally to those who ask. But wisdom may not support the way that you think about what is truth and what is a lie. But get ready. An awakening is coming. Blessings.